Hey, what's up? Welcome back. Today I am doing Lisa Loeb and 9 Stories Do You Sleep official video. But before we get into it, let's get into um, what Lisa Loeb says the song's about, because sometimes with these songs you don't always see it because it's not always available. I sometimes try to look up a song, especially with a song I already know. I try to look up to see if the artists themselves have given a specific definitive meaning to the song, and if they have, then I try to explain the lyrics of the song within the definition of that meaning. Sometimes they don't, they put it out there, sometimes they don't. And if they do, then I try to contextualize it before I get into the video. So let's read some of this of what Lisa said. It says, in an interview, she said that there was probably around college, I think it was in the middle of a separation from a guy or after a breakup. It was a feeling where I knew we should be broken up, but it kind of runs the gamut of all the feelings that you have been going, that you have gone through, well, that you have when you go through a breakup, even if you instigate the breakup. You're wondering if they completely still obsessed with you, like, do you eat, sleep, and breathe me, which we'll get into in a second. Like when you're broken up and still at every moment you're thinking about this other person and it drives you. It's just so upsetting and it drives you crazy. But then it goes through my own thought process where I think back, I guess in the abstract and a little bit of a poetic way about what the relationship used to be. And then by the time you get to the chorus, I don't know, I don't care if I ever see you again. You go through all these feelings. At least I do. My feelings are never completely 100% straightforward, and if they are, they go through many different phases where I look at things from a lot of different angles. Okay, so that's basically the basis, the foundation of what the song is about. So that being said, let's get into the actual song itself. Hold on. Okay, there are the lyrics. Okay.
Do you eat, sleep, do you breathe me anymore? Do you sleep, do you count sheep anymore? Do you sleep anymore? Do you take flight on my tongue like lead? Do you fall gracefully into bed anymore? I saw you as you walked across my room. You looked out the window, you looked at the moon, and you sat on the corner of my bed, and you smoked with a ghost in the back of my head.
Okay, so first and foremost, let me just say that I like Lisa Loeb. I really love Lisa Loeb. And one of the things I love about Lisa Loeb is her music is very like introspective, but also in many ways self-reflecting. She often, is very expressive of the inner turmoil that goes on within herself, and she does it very well. That, and she doesn't always stick strictly to conventional song structure, which I like. Like, because this whole first verse you could say is literally just a bridge. But anyway, so back to what she was saying when she was saying stuff like, do you eat, sleep, do you breathe me anymore? Do you sleep? Do you count sheep anymore? Essentially, it's going back to what she said before. Like you're sitting here wondering to yourself, is this person thinking about me? Are you thinking about me when you eat, when you sleep, when you breathe? Am I still haunting your every thought? Not that she really actually still wants to be with him, but she's wondering if he's still thinking about her because there's a part of her that's still thinking about him, that's still processing those emotions and processing those feelings. And I could take that as she's also wondering kind of if he's also kind of in that same state, even though it's kind of obvious that she walked off from him. And when she says like, do you take plight on my tongue like lead? Do you fall gracefully into bed? That one's interesting. When he says, do you take plight on my tongue like lead? Hold on. Hold on. This, because sometimes I forget definitions of words. A dangerous, difficult, otherwise unfortunate situation. Oh yeah, okay, plight. A plight, duh. It's been a long day. I got up early this morning, okay? Don't judge me. Anyway, one could say like, do you take plight on my tongue like lead? Like essentially, do I hang do I hang heavy in your mouth? Is it difficult to speak about me? I guess one could say, like, is it an issue? Is it hard for you? Does it hang on you heavy? Do you fall gracefully into bed anymore? Do you sleep well? Do you is it easy for you? Are you struggling? These are all the questions that she's asking. And then when she says, I saw you as you walked across my room, this is more so, I think, her looking back at a moment when they were still together before they broke up. When she says, I saw you as you walked across my room, you looked out the window, you looked at the moon, and you sat on the corner of my bed and you smoked with the ghost in the back of my head. Like, you could take that as, she's literally recounting, like, as he walked through and looked out, and he was smoking, maybe a cigarette. I think I read in the other part, he was maybe was a bit of a stoner. And you smoke with the ghost in the back of my head. And you smoked with the ghost in the back of my head. One could take that as the ghost is the things that she's not saying, the underlying tension or the unsaid things that are going on between them. And like he's high and she's not, and maybe they're just on two different levels. Although, wait, let's backtrack this a little bit, because it actually even says right here regarding the lyric "You smoked with a ghost in the back of my head." Loeb explains the concrete image smoke is probably related to the fact that the guy that I was dating at the time was kind of a stoner, and then I used to be in more metaphorical, like you're messing around with me, and the ghost in the back of my head is something that is like a ephemeral. It's when somebody messes around with you and messes around with you mentally on a deeper level, bringing up things from your past that aren't even really existent anymore. Like a ghost isn't really existent. It's based on something that used to exist, but it's kind of this like a figment of your imagination in a way. Although there's a presence to it because it obviously affects you. Okay, so when she says that, and, and it brings into context, she spoke to the ghost in the back of my head. Essentially, you know, like you like it keep bringing up things from the past that don't really matter anymore or aren't really relevant, but those things seem to linger, and you still seem to want to talk about these things or be wrapped up in these things when we should be past that by now. I guess it's kind of how you can take it based kind of off what she said. Anyway, let's get back to the song. This is a really good song.
No, I don't know, and I don't care if I ever will see you again. I don't know, and I don't care if I ever will be there.
Okay, all right. I'm pausing a lot on this one, I know, but bear with me. So when she gets into that, and I don't know, and I don't care if I ever will see you again, and I don't know if I will ever be there. Essentially, she's like, she's her feelings are processed, and she's coming back to the point of she's wondering like, I don't even know if I even care if I'll see you again. Like maybe I'll care, maybe I won't. I don't know right now. She's kind of in that struggling point between letting go and still wanting to hold on. And she's not sure if it's gonna matter to her when she sees you. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. She's kind of torn, but she's leaning more towards I don't really care anymore. And I'm starting to kind of get out of the fog of the emotions that we shared.
Do you eat, sleep? Do you breathe me anymore? Do you sleep? Do you keep me anymore? You kick my foot under the table, I kick you back. I can't say I'm able to stand for you or fall for you ever again. Wish for a perfect setting, wishing that I am letting you take me where you want me all over again. You can't give yourself absolutely to someone else. Now don't.
Okay, so I had to hear that part anyway. So we get past this part because we already understand what this means. So when you get to you kick my foot under the table, I kick you back. I can't say I'm able to stand for you or fall for you ever again. Wishing for a perfect setting. But let's get into this. Let's do this part. So basically, it's like take it as like a little kids fight. Like you kick my foot under the table, I kicked you back. Essentially, like you attack me and I retaliate, and this is the nature of us dealing with each other. But I can't say at this point whether I'm willing to, whether I can, whether I can stand for you, whether I can deal with you, or even whether I would ever fall for you ever again. Whether I can love you the same way as I once did. And I don't know if I'm able to, if I'd ever be able to reconnect with those feelings, because one can say that at this point I'm kind of already over you, and I'm able to have moved on. Someone who says, wish for a perfect setting, wishing that I'm letting you take me where you want me all over again. And what you can take that as like, you're kind of hoping for things to be right and things to work out, and she's kind of wishing for the ideal version of that relationship, and she's wishing that she could let him take her where he wanted to go, and she could just follow him all over again. If she could just go along with him and go along with the feelings all over again. But she knows too much now to be able to just give in like that ever again. Which is why it ties into this line, which I think is a very important line, probably the most important line of the entire song. You can't give yourself absolutely to someone else, which is, I think, the most important line, because this whole song is about her being torn, because you could say essentially she did give all of herself to this person, and it burned her in the end, and it really hurt, and she's struggling to get past it and get over it. But ultimately, you can't really give all of you to someone, because when you do, there's very little left of you for yourself. And if that person leaves for whatever reason, then you're left feeling empty because you invested all of you into someone. Not to say you shouldn't invest in somebody, but it can be a very dangerous thing to put your entire heart and soul and the responsibility of that and the vulnerability of that onto somebody else. Anyway, let's keep going and let's wrap up this song pretty soon. What was that? Okay. What's very interesting though about this point is like, because it's a harmony of her saying, do you eat, sleep, do you breathe me anymore? But and it starts off with that, but then that fades into the background, and in the foreground she starts singing, I don't know and I don't care if I'll ever be there again. Essentially, like, one could take it as like, it's these two competing thoughts and feelings now happening at the same time in her head. On one hand, the song is an emotional roller coaster. So on one hand, she's still sitting here like, I wonder if you still think about me. Are you still stressed about me? Do you still wonder about me? On the other hand, she's like, I really don't care. I don't really want to be with you anymore. It doesn't really matter to me. But I wonder if you're still thinking about me. But the wondering about the other person, as you notice, slowly starts to fade into the background as her indifference and apathy becomes the foreground thought. So as things progress, her wondering about all this is just it's slowly fading away. But is there still a hint of it lingering underneath the surface? Okay, well that was Lisa Loeb and Nine Stories. Whatever happened to Nine Stories, I don't know. Maybe she sold that duplex. Anyway, that was Do You Sleep? It's a song that I really enjoy. It's one of my favorite songs by Lisa Loeb. I know everyone knows like Stay. You say you only hear. It's one of her, it's like her most popular song, but I think she has a lot of other songs that are just as good and if not in many ways like better than that song. And I think she's very underrated personally. And she's a very talented woman, very good at songwriting. And yeah, I really enjoy this song. I enjoy a lot of her other songs. If you want to hear me talk about more Lisa Loeb songs, let me know. I would love to cover some more. And yeah, until next time, I'll talk to you later. Peace.